Hey y'all, it's Natalie, and it is time for the September Cherry on Top Design Team Hop on YouTube. We are focusing on stamping in September, so I'm showing you those two Catherine Pooler stamp sets I'm using. One is called Wings of Joy, the butterfly one, and the other one is called Natural Flourishes. So I left this part in here, but please note I make a mistake right here, but you'll see why I leave it in. But I'm going to do a wreath with the Natural Flourishes, one of the leaves in the set. So I'm using my foam tape roll as a circle template because it's the perfect size. But first I am going to go ahead and trim down this gray cardstock to fit on this paper. I showed you the photos earlier. My son is wearing a navy suit and he is standing next to some hot pink flowers. So I super love that background paper that I got way old from my stash. So I'm going to create a template here, a little circle, lightly drawn with my pencil. And then I'm going to use Catherine Pooler Juniper Mist ink, which is that navy blue ink up there. And I'm going to create a wreath. Now I start with this flourish and I really like it. And I actually already die cut some die cuts over there. You can see that kind of mimic it, like with little tiny leaves or tiny berries almost. But when I start putting it on around the wreath and trying to kind of like variegate how I'm stamping it, it just kind of goes wild. And so it ends up kind of not really being a wreath shape like as I intended. So I stamp here and then I'm just like, you know what, this isn't looking right. So I was using like the best side of the cardstock in my opinion, but that's okay. I flip it over and I'm going to use the other side. And I'm decided to use the other flourish in the stamp set. So I draw another circle and the other leaf is more spread apart, like less detail. And I feel like it works well with the wreath better. So I basically follow the line of the circle here all the way around. I do have a little overlap of the leaves, but not a lot. And I will leave all of it in here for you to see. But I'm just going to work my way around, just kind of following the pencil line with the middle line of the foliage stamp. So if you are shopping for stamps that you would like to use in scrapbooking, one thing I love to look for is large stamps. So this flourish and these leaves, there's 3 leaves on this set, are quite large. And if you work in a 12 by 12 format, sometimes you really need that, right? So I love larger stamps for that reason. Like these, in my opinion, would be a little difficult to use on a card because I feel like most times people tend to gravitate towards making cards with their stamps. But this one is really large and I think it's so perfect for scrapbooking. So this is really just the base of the element on my page, right? Also, I normally just run my ink pad across the edge of the paper, but I had just re-inked this pad and it was super juicy and I didn't want to like make a mistake and like add too much ink. So I used a foam dauber to put some ink around the edges and help the paper pop off the background. And I'm really happy with how that looks. It's not perfect, but that's okay because a lot of it is going to be hidden. So the stamping was just like a base of the page. Next, I'm going to bust into the Wings of Joy. And I'm just going in here for the little flowers. So he's standing in front of my peony bush. It only blooms for like 2 weeks a year, but they're gorgeous and they're hot pink. So I am going to use this picked raspberry distress oxide and stamp 3 different size little flowers. And another thing I look for when I am buying stamps is stamps with dies. I am not a fan of fussy cutting. I just don't have the patience for it really. I'll do it sometimes because it's necessary, but if I can find a stamp with a die, I'm gonna buy it. And it's an investment. It can get a little pricey, but to me, I will use it way more if I have dies. And it just gives a really clean look and I'm a fan of the matching dies that go with stamps. So Catherine Pooler is great about having matching dies with their stamps. A lot are, but I particularly just love her stamps and her ink is really great too. You get a different look than you get with distress oxides, but I'm combining them here and you would never know just because that was the only pink color that I had that matched. So I'm going to set these foliage dies. I think these are the Garden Greens by Tim Holtz for Sizzix. And I just cut 2 different ones out of the same color paper, and I'm just going to use them to kind of layer on top of the base stamp. And I stick down the bottom portion and leave the top up so I can kind of like floof them up at the end. And I'm going to put the photos as you see there, just kind of like diagonally from one another. And yeah, I'm loving it. I'm sorry if you hear dogs barking in the background. They just don't understand when I say no barking because I'm doing a voiceover. I mean, come on, dogs. So I'll take this opportunity to let you know that this is a design team haul. If you comment on the videos, then you will be entered for a chance to win store credit. And a cherry on top is very generous with their store credit. And oh my goodness, they have so many gorgeous things in the store right now, particularly 49 Market. Like, we're all obsessed. And they have so many amazing collections that are coming out. But all kinds of other things. Catherine Pooler has a super cute new fall line. Oh, there's so many cute things in the store. So definitely check that out. I'll put my affiliate link down below too if you would like to go shop. But make sure you hop along. I'll put the list of the participants down below. There's not too many of us, but there's definitely going to be a lot of stamping inspiration. All month long, we're going to be doing stamping all month long. So I'm finishing up putting the dies around the wreath. And I know it might sound silly, but personally, I think that adding the splatters here is really going to bring a cohesive look to my page, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm adding pink splatters, so that will bring in the pink from the photos and the pink from the background paper. And I know that like adding splatters, which are like wild and unpredictable, and me using that to bring cohesion seems like a little out of place. But to me, I don't think that this page would be complete if I didn't add those splatters. I'm also adding a little bit of pewter mica spray, and I normally like just drop it off the end of my bottle, but I wanted my splatters to be pretty delicate and small, so I just squirted it and used a tiny paintbrush to do the splatters. But that inspired the title. So the title thickers I'm using are like foam thickers. They're a pewter like glitter color though, and I don't know that I would have grabbed those if I hadn't used that mica spray. And I'm really glad I did, because they really match well with the look of the page. So I am just popping up the photos on some foam dots there, and I backed them in some white cardstock. And then I'm just going to add the title. I am going to go in and add a few more little sprigs to kind of overlap the photos a little bit. That just again brings cohesion. It kind of like melds the background in with the photos. And then I'm going to use the line of the wreath to add the title. So I'm going to do the title on like the circular portions of the wreath. And the title is Handsome Handful. Woo, because this kid, he's a mess, y'all. So he's standing in my garden in his little suit and his like fly little shoes, because it was the end of kindergarten and they were having like a red carpet party, and so they were going to take photographs before the red carpet party. So one day, like a week before school ended, they were like, dress your best, and he wanted to wear his suit. And he was looking so fly. He was so cute. But he's a handful. That second kid is no joke. So there's the title. I am adding extra Nuvo adhesive behind it to ensure that it sticks down. And I don't know why I didn't go ahead and stick down the cardstock yet. I definitely recommend doing that before like doing all this page building on top, but I didn't. So now it's time. I'm going to add my adhesive just around the edges of that cardstock and stick it onto the background. And we're really close to being done, but I wanted to bring out the pink flowers in the photo. So there we go, back to those pink flowers I stamped earlier from the Wings of Joy set, and I die cut them with the matching dies. And I'm just going to use them like you would use sequins or enamel dots. I'm going to put them around the wreath. I'm going to tuck them under some of the leaves and the little ones on top, and just gives a nice pop of pink. Again, bringing cohesion from the pink and just like repeating it in a few elements on the page. And I really love how this looks. I think that's gonna be it. You'll see in the final photos, I add a date and just his name. I don't really have any journaling to go with this page, but yeah, I had so much fun creating this. I hope you were inspired to stamp on your scrapbook page. There's going to be so much fun stampy things going on this month. So hang out with us at A Cherry on Top. I'll link down below with affiliate links and Facebook links and all of the hops, and hop along and comment and enter for a chance to win store credit, because there's so many good goodies in the store. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'd love it if you'd like and subscribe. Bye, y'all.